Hello, my darlings. Good evening, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle ATL By Night. Chapter 4, Who You Once Were. Let's welcome our vampires.
I'm Brittany Trambauer-Smith, and I play Melisande.
I am Sarah Lafferty, and I play Sybil.
I'm Leona Rohr, and I'll be playing Thomasina Elena Cuesta.
Zachary Vauda playing Anton Korvopolskov.
And I'm Hannah Murphy, and I'll be playing Pippa.
As always, check out our link tree in the comments to visit our sponsors. Our cast are wearing a number of clothing items from Varius and Volante, who you can find out in our link tree. And don't forget to use the code ATL By Night on Die Hard Dice to get 10% off your order. And I think that is all of our announcements. I am also your storyteller, Ellie Collins. I don't remember if I said that. I'm a little excited tonight, so why don't we sit back and relax, and let's tell a vampire story. When last we saw our kindred, the shepherds were introduced to Keys, Bios, and Crypt, 3 Nosferatu who will be working with them to help them through the backlog of the Lost Childer. Also, Dot was able to reacquire the Athenium for Anton, though now it's been purged of everything inside. But tonight, we're going to start with you, Pippa.
Hello.
Backing up a little bit to the evening when you went to Tilly's house. You followed her to the basement, where she set you up with a solitary bedroom, with a door that locks from the outside. And on the following night, as you've awoken, please give me a rouse check.
Thank you. That is a failure.
Okay, so you're starting tonight at Hunger, too.
Auspicious.
And not long after you wake up, there's a light tapping, and a voice calls from outside that says,
hello, Philippa Sullenberger, are you awake?
Philippa, Pippa, yes, hi. No one's called me that in a while.
Well, it's your name.
It is.
Okay.
And she unlocks the door, and opening the door, you see Tilly with Jacob standing behind her. And she turns to Jacob and steps up on her little tippy toes to whisper in his ear. And she turns around, and Jacob shuts the door and locks it. And you don't hear him leave.
Not that I don't appreciate the safe haven.
Oh dear, you don't know why I brought you here. I thought you knew.
I knew you wanted to speak with me, about the premonition that I had, that I forced.
Oh, Jacob lied. Well,
why am I here?
Well, normally, I do this at Olivia's house, but you're a friend of the shepherd, so I wanted to give you your privacy.
Why am I here?
I'm going to, as they say, take all the bad out. Philippa Sullenberger is a beautiful and intelligent Tremere, and we need her back, okay?
It's Philippa Sullenberger Guerra. The Guerra is important.
Okay,
He is important.
okay. Whatever you say.
What? I don't like this anymore. I'd like to leave, please.
I'm sorry, we can't do that.
Please.
At minimum, we can't do that until tomorrow. But don't worry. It's gonna be okay. I promise you that. It's always okay. Except when it's not. And then it's not okay.
I'm gonna activate rapid reflexes.
Go for it.
You don't have to roll for that.
No.
That's because that's one. And I'm gonna try to, as fast as possible, come to the door and then break it with it's just a pendant. I'm gonna try to break it with it, the lock.
What is that pendant made of?
A horn, gemstone, and metal, and copper.
The horn shatters against the door.
I try it with my hand.
And she just shakes her head. She goes, "Oh dear.
Let me out now.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to. So I haven't gotten to use any of these yet, so it's been so long. I want to try to do Scorpion's Touch on her.
Go for it."
It's going to be strength and blood sorcery.
Thank you. I don't ever get to kick ass, so this is exciting.
I don't know how many your strength and blood sorcery is, plus your hunger.
Thank you.
And, your
And
rouse.
Tilly is in here in just a plain blue dress. Her hair has been braided and twisted back and pinned
like
up
Yeah.
so that it's out of the way.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I'm going to use willpower to re-roll 3 of those.
Okay.
That was a stinky roll, my friends. Wait, actually,
You actually have an additional die to roll.
woohoo! Thank you. Mother of God, that is just 3 successes.
Tilly just stands there and she lets you do whatever you want. And she just sighs.
I eventually tried to shove her out of the way and like punch her and just went, let me out.
She lets you punch her. She takes it. And she just looks back and goes,
Why aren't you doing anything?
Because you need this.
Take a shot or let me out now.
Oh, honey, you don't want me to take a shot.
It's better than you staring at me like that with your fucking smile on your face. Let me out now or kill me. I don't give a shit.
"How about you sit down?" And you uncontrollably sit down in a metal chair in the middle of the room.
She goes, now see, I'm gonna let you get it all out before we get started. But I think maybe you need to understand some things, like why I'm not gonna let you out. And it's because I know who you are. I know. I know everything. And I know that you remind me a lot of my Catherine. And, well, sometimes when our kids misbehave, we think they know what's best for them and we abandon them when we shouldn't. And then they get set on fire. And you know, you're not that bad. You're actually kind of sweet. And, well, I think maybe it's time for Pippa to go.
So kill me. Whatever. Just...
It's gonna be worse than that. But But don't worry, you're gonna be okay.
What, are you gonna turn me into living furniture?
Oh, no. No, that's Lydia's thing. I don't got nothing to do with her.
Please just let me go. Just let me go or kill me. I don't give a shit which.
Okay,
I'm just
then.
tired. I'm so tired. Just let me...
I know, and you're gonna sleep, honey. You're gonna sleep. So we're gonna get started, and don't worry, nothing you can say or do is gonna surprise me. Everyone reacts to this differently.
Am I able to get up?
No. You don't feel like you could even if you wanted to.
Just kill me.
And she just reaches over and touches your forehead lightly. And Pippa, you're not sure how it began or when, but you knew it was happening when the pain started. When searing pain crackled through your brain like lightning. Your vision goes dark and you're waking up. Your first night as a vampire. Seeing the world in brand new ways and feeling brand new things. But this time, there's no strength. There's sickening, nauseating, empty feelings. And you start to feel a little ill in your body as the memory around you twists and warps as if it's being physically ripped out of you. You feel your skin tearing, slicing off into pieces, flayed against the darkness until there is one final rip. And then another memory takes hold. Your first kill. But it doesn't offer any true satisfaction like it did before. Instead, you're overcome with guilt that makes you want to fall to your knees, but you're already sitting. And again, the pulling and the tearing and the pieces of what was Pippa of the Sabbat are ripped out bit by bit. And this goes on for hours. Each memory more painful than the last, torn away. It's excruciating. And you're certain you could frenzy if only you knew how to get out. But every time you try to move, you can't. You thrash and you scream from pain, but you feel no movement accomplished. No sound leaving your throat. You can hear it and feel it in your mind, but your body might as well be asleep. And so it continues until you finally pass out from sheer exhaustion. And the impending sunrise, you're pretty sure if you've counted the hours correctly, you can tell is coming, but you also know that you're nowhere near done. It's been almost 11 hours, and who knows how much more to go. We go back over to the shepherds. Mel and Thomasina, you've been introduced as well in the past week to Key's BIOS Encrypt. They're actively working on getting as much information as they can about the next childer pickups for you guys. Tonight, it's a fairly calm night. Mel, you've had a standing appointment with Alpha for next week to discuss amending the Renasherie Camarilla and how to make the issues you've experienced not issues for the future. Hex also still hasn't come home, or she's leaving before any of you wake up, but you haven't seen her since Dot's trial. And Thomasina, you have a text message waiting for you from Josiah.
Okay.
It reads, moving on a target in Old Fourth Ward. No one you know, stay away, there's tracking dogs out.
I'm just gonna send back tracking dogs? Question mark?
And he replies back, bloodhounds, with a laughing emoji.
I'm gonna send back d'accord, the French. And I'm also gonna send another text that says, anything else you wanted to tell me?
You get back, is it creepy if I say you look beautiful today? Don't ask how I know.
I'll just assume it's an educated guess, but okay. And I'm gonna let that sit for right now. I don't really quite know what to say yet.
Okay.
And so I'm just waking up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've all probably been awake for about like half hour, maybe.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm gonna head out into the main room, just to kind of see who's still in the place.
Okay. And Mel, what have you done when you woke up?
So, would I have been in contact with Alpha between the time he told me he wanted to do it and our appointment? Would we
Yes.
have? Okay, so
Yeah, you guys have been able to talk a bit, but it's more of a like, this is the kind of conversation where it's better if we bounce off of each other, but kind of like you get a text that's like, remembering to talk about this when we go there, and just like conversation.
great. So then Mel would not have been in the main room. She would be in her room, which now looks like Mel's room again, and not like a sterile hospital room.
Yeah.
And would be at like I guess a temporary desk of some sort with like just like copies of every Camarilla document she could get her hands on, as well as every like potential piece of legislation that may have happened between other species, and like basically like kind of like that meme you see of the guy with the things and the strings and the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, like trying to figure out all the different ways. So she's basically just like full-fledged study mode, like legislating legal documents, like that kind of thing, like just head deep in it.
Okay. And Anton, what about you?
I'm laying on the couch with headphones in and just listening to music.
Okay, so Thomasina can come out. Anton's laying on the couch
Just
with headphones on.
vibes.
All right. And I don't see Aaron with us. So I'm gonna check the fridge first.
There are 4 blood bags.
Okay. And the recycling.
The recycling has a couple bottles in it.
Okay. I guess it's not quite recycling day yet. All right. And I'm gonna go back to my phone. I still don't really quite know what else to say yet, but I'm gonna be scanning for news, anything Fourth Ward.
Nothing as of yet in Old Fourth Ward.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to ask him, or anything else you wish to do?
I'm gonna go towards one of the windows and just kind of like look and see like if anything out there might be watching me, or I'm not gonna quite like go back in and start turning stuff over yet, but
Why don't you make me a wits and awareness around your room?
no. I don't know why I always check as though my points have changed out. 2.
You see that a small device has been delivered. It's in a box on your desk. It looks like a little security camera with a small PDA device beside it, and there is a post-it note in it that says, "Turn me on."
Of course it does. Can I see how to turn it on? Is it pretty obvious? Just
Yeah,
like
there's
the
just like a
power
little
button?
power button on
Okay,
the top.
gotcha. I'm gonna turn it on.
When you turn it on, you see it's not a security camera, it's a thermosensor. And you can kind of pick it up and move it around, and you can see that like it's all cold
Yeah.
throughout the room. And the PDA device that controls it, it's kind of like how some people just have the like iPod touches just for certain apps.
Yeah.
It's just a small PDA device to control this camera, and when you load it up, there's a little note on it that says this has been pre-programmed to alert you and notify you if anything warm enters your apartment.
Necklace
So-
would have been just fine. When
you pick up the PDA,
Yeah.
there is also a ring underneath it.
What?
It does not look like that kind of a ring.
Thank you.
It's like
Worst
a
proposal ever.
Everyone was like,
It's like a large
It's-
antique signet ring with a ruby in it with emerald chips on either side. And it looks like it's a bronze patina, but it has age, so it is
Yeah.
quite old.
Can I see any particular elements of the signet that I would, or is it like just the gems or the face? And
The gems are the face.
Okay, gotcha.
The gem is it's faceted in a way that's not like a typical oval cut or princess cut. It looks to have been hand done.
Okay. I'm gonna try it on.
It fits your pointer finger.
Okay. Interesting. And I'm just gonna turn the camera on me just in case. Like I've never seen me, whether or not I'm sensible.
You're cold.
I should be right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
So you
yeah.
can tell that it's similar to when you guys were in the, or when everyone was in the SI facility. It appears that this is doing the opposite effect that the SI one does, where in the SI, it's searching for cold senses.
Yeah.
This one has been keyed up to search for warm senses in case any humans were to try to enter your home.
Right. I'm gonna take it back out to the living room and just kind of like go over towards Anton, just I don't know why, but like he can, be on fire sometimes. So I'm just gonna
Sometimes people are on fire.
Not
sometimes,
yet.
And you wouldn't be able to tell, apparently, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just like in it, like is it just there? Like is it Spider-Man
Oh, I
just
love
webs
this,
with fire?
yeah.
The fire is in you.
It hangs on Robin under the couch.
Oh no, Robin's currently with Jackson.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pan over. Is there any weirdness on Anton?
Nope.
Okay.
Cold.
Good.
Now you'll see with the camera.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
just
so Anton, you just see Thomasina's just walking around with a camera.
It's like a camcorder.
It just looks like one of those little the little ball on a stand.
yeah.
When the lens points towards me, I just
I'm gonna start scanning the walls for anything like.
You see some slight warmth due to heating pipes, since our weather can't decide what it wants to be. Since we get all 5 seasons
In one day.
Yep.
Yes, 5 because there's false spring,
The fake
it now.
spring.
which we are currently in. So you see that you can see that some of the pipes in the wall are still a little warm from pushing heated air.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep roaming around for a little while.
take the earbud out. You filming a documentary?
And I'm gonna go show him the display.
Okay. Yeah, you see Anton, it looks exactly like the display from the SI facility.
Fancy. I'll pull my lighter out and just in front of it, not like directly, but in front of it, just to test the difference. Huh.
Yeah.
And when the lighter is close to
should
the
be
camera
Yeah.
and it lights up a bunch, Thomasina, your cell phone starts ringing.
Okay. Okay.
And
Hold this.
when are you going to answer the ringing?
Yes.
You answer it, and it is an automated message that says "Intruder detected."
Oh shit. Is there? Can I reply back false alarm?
No,
Or no?
it just,
yeah.
it's a phone call, so
Right,
you can just
yeah,
hang up. It's
okay.
just notifying you.
They're not going to do anything. They're just going to tell you.
Yeah, it's just a notification.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave that then. Just kind of laugh and just take it back. I'm gonna go back and put it in my room, back in the box. Power it down. Am I
Okay.
able to?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Dumb question. Just for my own, because of what you said. Does it look like the cameras in the SI facility to a recognizable point, or is it just the same kind of technology?
Same kind of technology.
Okay, that's an important distinction.
The ones in the SI facility were definitely made for large rooms, and this one is just kind of like our security cameras here at home, just a little
I just wanted to make
device
sure-
that you could just put up in the living
I
room.
just want to make sure the screen frame didn't say Ignatius Pharmaceuticals
Oh,
on it.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
so-
like-
Powered by Pentax.
yeah. Exactly. So I'll just watch her go and close the light and just wait for, like, maybe she comes back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to beef up security?
It's got potential. I definitely know that the system works.
Oh, does it message you?
It calls.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going to pick up the possum.
I mean, yeah, but it you can see the size of the worm. It's not like there is just worm.
Does
So
it-
I assume small worm is
Does it tell?
Weird,
Does it
but-
tell you, or does it differentiate, or?
So if you dig into the settings,
Yeah.
you'll see that it has specs that it notifies once it hits a certain threshold. So like, you also get the idea looking at this. It's not going to pick up a possum. It probably wouldn't pick up a toddler either. It's going to take an adult.
It's like it would register heat, but it wouldn't alarm at heat.
Right.
Okay.
Like, you'd definitely be able to see it, but it's only going to call you when it reaches the threshold for an adult human.
Such as light or close to camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be useful. I hope. Much my hope that we aren't going to have more people invading our space again, but it seems to be a trend.
I mean, yeah, but it is, and we haven't quite had the warnings most of the time, so that would be nice.
That's true, and yes, it's not like old times where I can just word it and it wouldn't necessarily work against them. So
No, so.
And so, Mel, you can hear all this going on in the living room. Thomasin's got a fancy new camera that might help.
Do you remember what it was that I saw on her phone when I was obfuscated?
You saw some correspondence between her and someone else, but you didn't know who it was.
Right, I can't remember what was said. It was something that I found at the time to be odd. Do you remember what it was?
I don't
it
recall.
it was something akin to like was it before the
It
trial
was- it
after?
was-
Yeah.
After the trial.
Yeah. I think it was something to the degree of like condolences, like whoever was on the phone
yeah.
knew, but they
Right.
weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was the person giving Thomasina condolences.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird to you because it was somebody on the phone and we were all there.
Correct,
So-
yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna like duck my body and head like out of the room, but like too afraid to leave because I will miss where I was in my place. So I'm like halfway hanging in the door, but like also hanging out, and
Just
I'm gonna
ball
like
of yarn in one hand.
yeah, like very similar to that, but like yeah, but
Cigarette behind me.
yeah, very like messy hair sort of thing, and like is that from who's that from? Where'd that come from?
I'm just gonna look over at her. Jesus Christ, are you okay?
Is this are they allowed to know what I'm doing? Are they allowed to know this is happening?
You get an idea that Alpha has given you the impression that the shepherds are allowed to know anything, but it's up to your discretion on how much you want to tell them.
We also were around you when you were on the phone with Alpha.
Yeah,
right?
okay,
So-
yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm good. You know, just there's a lot of stuff to go over. It's you know, if you've ever written anything that goes through any sort of legislative process, it's a thing.
Yeah, looks like it.
How many hundreds of years am I having to go through these I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But where did that come from? Where did that little piece of equipment come from?
Gift from a considerate friend.
Oh,
Considerate friend.
I have some sometimes. But it's heat sensitive, and at minimum, that would be able to see anything that might be coming through the door that isn't us, or
But it's us sized.
is more like us. But anyway,
somebody who knows that we need such a thing?
yes, considerate friend, as I said.
Does this considerate friend know where the penthouse is?
How was the package delivered?
When you woke up, it was in your room.
And we were not privy to that, but
Yeah,
it was
they
just
would
there.
not know that. You would know that it was in your room when you woke up, and it was not there previously.
Okay. They seem to, yes. But this is not someone who I think is waiting to figure out where we are just to be able to do something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're staking the place out for that. It's...
I can't even let John Baptiste come up the stairs, and you have somebody sending you packages?
Why can't you let John Baptiste come up the stairs?
Because nobody is supposed to know that we are here. And nobody, much like they're not supposed to know about where we were, and yet you I assume his team shows up. So he certainly can't know about here if Alpha doesn't want us to know, like other people to know where this is. We have two places for a reason, yes?
Yeah, but I I somehow assume that this person is aware of Alpha in at least a couple of ways, and that Alpha is likely aware of them. So
The way that you said that is very weird.
I'm sure.
To give you jewelry too? Just point at the hand.
It's yeah.
Oh, it's that kind of friend.
I assume that this is someone who probably wanted me to figure out more about this. I'm just wearing it for right now. This is not...
Well, I'm going to trust that you know what you're doing. And we are well armed in this home.
And potentially forewarned.
I appreciate their thoughtfulness. Maybe we should meet them so we can all feel comfortable knowing that they know where we live. Again, up to you.
They
but
would
I'm just
love that.
just throwing out
I
there.
no longer want to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Thomasina, your phone pings.
Oh, come on.
and then I'm gonna be like, hmm? Like,
It's from Tabitha.
Oh, come on.
great timing, Tabitha.
What's going on?
It says your embrace request has been approved.
Gonna
And a follow-up text comes in that just says, please submit any information when it is completed. No need to tell us ahead of time.
I am still going to text back. I would still like to set up a meeting prior.
And Tabitha says, absolutely, you have access to my Google Calendar.
And I'm gonna look through and I'm gonna see when she doesn't have a conflict and go ahead and just put myself in.
Okay.
While she's doing that, I fire off a text to Mel that says, worst case, I'll tell Aaron to lick it. Referring to the camera.
And I am actually carrying my phone again,
Yeah.
so that's good. So I will have saw that and I'll like snicker and like just kind of stick it in my back pocket again of whatever disgusting unwashed clothes that I'm wearing because I'm like knee deep in paperwork. Well, okay, I will trust you and hope that we all are okay. I would prefer not to have to flee again. I still don't have any idea where Mark is, and that's going to alert us if he just happens to walk through the door, but I don't even know if he knows where we are now, so.
And Mel, you're using your phone now, yes?
I got it. It's back. Dirty pocket.
Have you been clearing your notifications during this time, or have you been letting them stack up?
No, they had stacked up until I got out of the funk, which was when Alpha called me. So I think between then and now, I probably would have tried to clear them.
Okay, so you do have an email.
Okay.
The email contains a video file.
I would have just tried to get just now.
Just now.
Okay. All right. Oh. Hold
And
that thought.
the text of the email says, it's the hello, Miss Lest Embrace. I hope this email finds you well. Signed, a friend.
Okay. All right. Cool. So she's gonna like duck in and like look at it and watch the video.
It's Mark.
Oh.
And it's Mark sitting at a table, like kind of repositioning his phone, like trying to prop it up properly, and it drops like 3 times, and he's
bless.
like, can you give me a glass, please? Something I can use. And you hear a man's voice from the other side, and you hear a glass sit down really hard on the table, and he props his phone up against it. He's like, okay. Hi, Mel. I'm safe. I'm alive. I'm where I am. I'm not allowed to say more than that, I guess. But I'm here. Nobody has hurt me. I was told specifically to say that to you. I don't know why they would want me to say that, but I was told specifically that I need to reassure you that anything that made you think I was hurt didn't happen. And that is true, but I don't know what they did. So I just wanted you to know that I'm okay. Yeah, I can't say your name, can I? Okay. This guy wants to meet you. But he said he's going to keep me until you come find him. But he said, don't do that right now. They timed this email, so I'm not sure when this is sending to you. Right now, it's... I'm just kidding. I don't know what day it is. But I want you to know that this is not a trap. I know how it sounds when I say that, but, like, it's not a trap. They want to meet. It's apparently a Bruja thing. I don't know much more aside from that. It's a Bruja thing. I'm being kept as an insurance policy that you don't, as they said, do what Brujas do. They haven't specifically said they'll kill me if you act up, but this guy wears a lot of makeup, so I'm gonna believe him on that. What? It looks good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I promise. Yeah. Okay. But no, I'm fine. They said that this would get sent to you whenever they were ready to initiate some kind of contact. So I think you'll be getting a piece of mail at the bungalow in some time around now. I don't know. But I'm okay. I'm eating well if you can call checkers every day well.
Oh, God. Poor Mark.
But I miss you a whole lot. And I guess I miss the others. But I miss you a whole lot. And I'll see you soon. Okay. And he turns it off.
Clarification point, where are you watching this video on your phone?
Like, just my door's open, just in my room, like at my temporary desk. Like,
So we can
just-
definitely hear.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
for
I thought
sure.
by the time I've heard
for
Mark
sure.
voice,
It
it's
wasn't
up
turned
and
down. I
over.
don't have AirPods or anything. It was.
Yeah, so by the time the video's over, it's go. He still has both hands.
He still has both hands.
And that seemed sincere.
Why would somebody be so gleeful being held captive for so long?
I assume that either he is under some sort of mental manipulation, or they are actually treating him well and giving him checkers every day.
I mean,
He
he's
doesn't like checkers.
he's been in service before for a few other things. I assume that he's able to hold his own under a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely been detained before.
There's nothing, no like secret code between you two mixed in there, like checkers means something.
I mean, no, right, storyteller? That was...
Actually, why don't you make me... We'll call it a straight wits check.
Okay, I think that's 4 or 5. Let me check. Sorry for the noise, guys.
Say checkers twice for kidnapping.
Blink if you're kidnapped.
Maybe he told her a story about a checkers he really hates in a particular part of town.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
thinking.
know.
Okay, so it's just
Chick-fil-A is
3.
when it's really serious.
You said just wits?
Yes.
3 successes out of 3.
Fantastic. So you do know that you guys have established codes of a series of words to be said that flow naturally in conversation. Words like great makeup, checkers. You know, there is a series of 8 words that Mark managed to, as you're now thinking back through the video, maybe rewatching it, rewinding to a couple parts, you get that he put all 8 in there that is an all clear, that he is safe, but do not approach.
Oh, so don't come, even though he told me to come.
No, it's a you get the idea from the message that he sent that don't look for him before they give you the invitation.
I see.
To
Okay,
come.
gotcha.
Like he's codedly confirming that everything he said is actually the truth.
Yeah, it's this. Yes, we do, and yes, this is totally above board. But I was told that they would be sending something to the bungalow, and I don't know when the last time I've been there is. Have you guys been recently?
Not in some time, not
Oh
since.
God, I wonder how much mail is in that box.
Did I ever go to the bungalow?
At least once.
Yeah, you went
At least once.
a couple times.
So I thought,
Oh yeah, maybe you didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
she ever
I'm
go
pretty sure you have at
to
least once. But
Oh
we
no,
don't-
that was all Tummy the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought at least one time she had been there.
never
No,
there.
Thomasina hasn't
Okay.
been to the
No.
bungalow.
I don't know.
So you wouldn't, yeah.
I never get no.
So who's getting the mail for?
I assume it's in, or maybe Alpha has somebody coordinating that since they coordinated everything else about all of this. I'm gonna text. I'm gonna text the NOS squad,
Okay.
and just ask is video metadata in your list of skills?
And you get a reply back from Keys that says, what are we, in grade school?
Oh my god.
Could you send that video to Keith?
Yeah, totally. And so I'm going to get on. And before I do that, I'm going to respond to the email and say, thank you for your correspondence, period. I look forward to receiving the invitation, and then sincerely my name. Like, literally just same business language they used, and let them know that I got it. Because, yes, they might have a read receipt, but, you know, it's best to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And send that, and then yes, I will email that, which I did, and then I'm going to look to both of them and say, then where did the hand come from, and whose was it?
I was not there when the hand was delivered. I was only told about the hand. I didn't get a chance to test it.
Yeah, I wasn't privy. I don't know who took it after.
I think it was just disposed of because, you know, it's a hand, but...
So we didn't send it off anywhere? We didn't get it tested?
I was awaiting trial. I'm not the right one to tell you.
I was told to run, and therefore I did.
Yeah, none of us were there. None of us were there, so we can effectively pass the buck on this one to the ones that are not here, but it doesn't change the fact that we don't have a hand.
Great.
Wow.
Well, Mark is okay, and that makes me feel a lot better, but doesn't change the topic at hand, which is he needs to be here, not there, wherever there is. So, I mean, obviously there is College Park because that's where the vehicle is, but
Yes.
right, that's where it is, College Park. Yeah.
Oh, if it's College Park, then 9 out of 10 it's Anarchs. Especially if he's talking about Bruja things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would they want to talk to me? Why would they want Mark? What benefit is there?
You are by far the most seen, the most visible Bruja in the city.
In the Camarilla Court.
So what are they trying to do then? Are they trying to renegotiate their lines, or
Maybe they're taking it personally with you.
that's the last thing I need is somebody else to take my business personally. Okay, well, I guess I wait.
We see
or go check the mailbox, or
We can go check go check the mailbox, but that's the only thing we can do right now. We wait for Keys to see if metadata gives us any narrowing down. He said they move them around, but at least will give us a place. We don't have to go, but it's still a place.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna go until I'm invited because I assume that they will tell me where to go since they want to talk to me. But I would love to know where that is so that I have a better idea of how protected I need to be.
Yes.
So
yes, let's go check all of the mail that we've missed.
okay, let's go check the mail.
And as we're heading downstairs, I'm actually just going to text Sybil and ask, hear anything from Pippa?
All right, and so you guys head out, and speaking of Sybil, we are going to skip over to Sybil. Alejandro's been good about not pressuring you to hang out with Lydia. Any time you've spent with her has been whatever you wanted and however long you wanted. They've both been very chill about it and giving you your space. She's been very sincere in any questions you've asked her, even ugly stuff. But she's tried her best to answer about a lot of the things that she's done if you've asked, but she is fuzzy on a lot of it. So you get the idea that whatever has her like this now took a good chunk of her with it. And but she is definitely broken. It's like she's trying to relearn how to be a person again, like when people get out of jail after a long time. And so meeting up with her has been very clunky and awkward, but she's trying.
Okay, so have I heard anything from Pippa?
You have not.
Okay. Where am I? Am I at the...
That is up to you.
That is up to me. Okay. I guess I suppose I will have been, especially in the interest of figuring out where my missing Pips is, have spent some time with Lydia, so I guess I could be at the condo.
Okay.
was that about when I would get Anton's text? Or is
Yes.
That, okay. So I will respond to him and let him know that I haven't heard from her at all.
Okay.
And then I will meander out into the living area, I suppose.
And she's sitting there reading a newspaper. But it's a newspaper from like 5 years ago.
Good.
And you can see a stack of them with her,
Oh, bless her
along with
heart.
a little library card on the table. And she's like, it's so amazing. There's so much that has happened. I was so focused on everything else. I didn't even catch some of this. But good evening.
Evening. I see you've gone to the library. You're more of a
Yes.
physical person?
I prefer newspapers.
Fair enough.
I like reading blogs and like BuzzFeed and whatnot, but like, I don't know. There's something, I feel like I should get the news from newspaper. Like, just something about it. I have to get like the little, and she holds up her hands and there's like little black spots from the newspaper.
The print smudges.
Yes. And she's like, it's just, this feels like the best way.
Yeah, I mean, I still carry around physical books. Not that I have any option now, but I did beforehand either way. Now it's kind of a must. A Kindle doesn't really cooperate with me anymore.
I found a 24-hour library, and they're really nice there.
I'll have to go. That would be nice.
Yeah, you can. Here, I'll just and she picks up her card. She's like, I'll leave my library card on the counter, and if you ever want to take it and go, you can.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Is it just you?
Yeah, your father had a meeting, a Primogen thing. He says that the Primogen are all really intense and do not like having a man on the council, so they're all really mean to him.
You know, I haven't met all of them, but of the few that I have seen, that tracks.
Yeah.
He'll make it.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
It'll be good for him. Build a little character.
Yeah. I'm sorry, by the way, if I ever hurt you or your friends. I know it doesn't mean much, but I really wasn't sorry before, and now I actually feel bad about things, and so for what it's worth, I just wanted to say that.
I can't really accept it on their behalf, but,
I know.
you know, it's a process, I think. And thankfully we're not humans, so there's an abundance of time. Take it a step at a time.
I figure there's not really a whole lot of place for me here, so I'm just gonna kind of figure out if I can have a little place or I don't know. A part of me wants to go back to Greece, but I just found your father again, so I can't really do that, so I'm just kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, being in that situation, kind of ass. Don't mean finding your long lost love, I just mean like, you know, being one of the most hunted folks in the city and also not being able to leave.
Yeah. Though, when we can, we could always take a cruise to Greece. I've got some friends that work in the cruise industry. It's how I got over here.
I haven't been outside the country before, truth be told.
Well, as a vampire, you don't need a passport. You can kind of go wherever you want.
It's fair enough.
And I can be anything, so...
Yeah, I suppose that does make the situation a little bit less tricky, doesn't it? Okay. I mean, I'm not like getting my bathing suit together or anything, but
Well,
I think
yeah,
that
no,
would be...
we're a ways off from that.
Yeah. Maybe something like that.
Sorry,
Nice.
I'm just trying to... I don't know what I'm doing.
I
feel
don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, good. Good, that makes two of us.
Yeah.
It really is much easier when you're a cult leader.
I mean, I think when what you say goes, Brooke's a lot less,
It's more about purpose. I don't know if your father ever understood that part of it. That when they took me and changed me, it's not that I didn't fight because there was something in me that wanted to be the Sabbat. It's that without your father, I had nothing. I was nothing. I had no purpose, I had no life, I had no love. And when you desperately wish that there was something that made every day worth waking up for, it's really easy to fall into someone who promises you that and who actually delivers on it. I had a purpose for years. I had people that needed me. It wasn't just about bossing everyone around, it was about being needed. And about having something worth waking up for.
yeah.
It's real easy to get taken in by that.
I mean, I didn't end up becoming a kindred because I was in a good situation. Granted, this is probably one of the better ones out of all of the folks that I've met with so far.
And it could be worse, you could have met me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would have been a mess. Although, I gotta say the ability set is not the worst. It would be nice to be able to use a smartphone again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know a way around that one.
I don't really think there is. Maybe, like, a ghoul.
Yeah,
Seems
could-
a little obtuse to get one.
I can
just-
technically make you one. They're a little gross looking though, so you
She's just like thinking the gears are turning. She's like,
It's just a hand.
Assuming that they didn't look, because that would be kind of like a signpost that I had a Tamitsi at home, if it looked too gnarly.
Oh no, not everything we do is gnarly.
That's fair.
I mean, you could have your own lurch.
But I don't have any water. And
You can think on it.
it would be nice. I think, especially given recent circumstances, that another set of hands looking out for my best interests would
Hands
be.
I can do.
Oh, God.
Hands I can very much do.
Cousin it.
Yeah, and it's just coming
You
out.
like Adam's Family?
Yes.
I can do that.
We could do that.
Though if you want like a regular ghoul, like just a friend, that's probably better if you do that, because then they're bonded to you.
Maybe that. Although,
I can teach you. I've gotten really good at it.
Yeah, I'm glad I have somebody so experienced to learn from.
That's a good way to put it. Okay.
But I think that would be good.
Yeah,
Because this group seems to get into a lot of shenanigans.
They do, and I admit that a good chunk of those were my fault.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but that weird serial killer guy was not me, though.
No, yeah.
Your father told me about that. I tried to find him, and I couldn't.
Well, I found him. And then I was unenforceable friendship time there for a while.
Oh, I mean, I tried to find him after. I was gonna,
Murder
but I couldn't
him.
find him.
Yeah. I have time.
Yeah.
I'll find him eventually.
Yeah. You want to read the newspaper with me?
Yeah, we can do that. I haven't read a newspaper since I was in elementary school.
You want the funnies?
Yes, actually, I do.
And she like digs through and passes you over the funnies.
That's what I used to do with my grandma. So this is very on brand.
Storyteller, I will text Sybil that a few of us are heading to the public house, but that can be received whenever.
So I get a little bzz to my
Yeah,
blackberry.
you get a bzz bzz.
Just tenderly touch the blackberry. What an improvement this is in my sick
Caress the
case.
blackberry.
Yeah. So you said you're going to what, the public house?
Yeah, the bungalow. I think you've been there at least once before.
Have I?
I'm pretty sure.
At this point, it is a good question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna say
pretty sure.
yeah.
You have, yeah.
Yes.
So
But
I'll
you
see
both
that
were.
and I'll be like, oh, what's up? Question mark.
Uneventful night. Period. Offering in case it was for you too.
Huh. What they're getting up to?
Who?
The
Your
shepherds.
friends.
Yeah.
You can go with them if you want. Don't worry. This is already really awkward, and I'm trying really hard, and that's making it more awkward. So yeah, you can go. I don't want you to feel like weird about leaving.
I don't feel weird. I just there's a lot of things. Just feel bad that you're stuck here by yourself, but
I mean, I'm not entirely by myself. I have a fish tank now.
plus.
They do not like me,
Oh,
so I set up an automatic feeder. But I can look at them from across the room.
that's
Sometimes I do walk past to watch them run to the other side.
that's really sad.
No, it's most animals don't like our kind.
Yeah, I can't really blame them, to be fair.
Yeah, if you have one for long enough, though. I had a dog for probably about 30 years. You just give them a little bit of blood, like a couple drops, and they're usually good. And then some Camarilla fuck in South London killed him.
Oh, killing an animal.
At least that's what I assumed happened, because why would my dog just run away after 30 years?
That does.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, that is an excellent idea. That is a wonderful idea.
Getting a dog?
Oh, just having a pet. I had a pet, but, can't really. At least it's not been possible.
Are they still around?
Might be. I just kind of stopped showing up to my apartment after everything.
I know someone who could probably find them. He hates me, but if you asked, he'd probably help you. And then I can show you how to keep it.
Yeah, that would be nice. After all of this, really, I didn't think that was an option.
He kind of knows one of the shepherds really well. I think he hangs out with them some.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've still got his number. I'll give it to you. Just do not say that you got it from me.
No. No offense, but you're Martha.
Yeah.
You don't exist. Again, no offense, but
No, that's very fair. That's very fair.
She's like, gonna be like, your name is Martha.
Yeah. She's like, I like that. It's like Batman.
Yes, exactly.
Or Superman. Or a lot of superheroes have Martha. Okay. Yeah, go out and have fun with your friends.
Yeah, I will. Be safe and try not to get into too much trouble.
I think my trouble days are over.
I am very much relieved to hear that. So she'll saunter out, give her a quick wave, and then peace out, Girl Scout, and head to the bungalow. I'll send a text being like, I'm away, ETA, whatever the actual amount of time is.
Alright, and so you head out, and Shepherds, while you're at the house, you get a text message. All three of you.
Okay.
Delightful.
It says, and it's from the Nostrio group chat. And it's Crypt. And they say, lost child or pickup. Came in high priority from a Primogen, sending location pin. Apparently the childer knows they're awaiting the pickup and the store is staying open late for it. And there is an attached pin. And that's where we're going to take our break. We will be right back. Take care of yourselves. Welcome back. And so the pin in the message that you receive, Sybil, you have arrived to the house by now.
Okay.
The pin in the message you receive is for little 5 points to Psycho Sisters.
Fun.
Familiar territory.
Quick question: how much mail was there?
Yeah, how much mail?
There was about 2 Kroger bags worth.
Awesome. Anything jump out immediately, or is it just like a sort through it later thing?
At this point, sort through it later.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
And has the house just been left empty, or is it still furnished and like looking like it's lived in?
Still furnished. It seems like so your mail was stacked on the counter.
Oh.
So it seems like somebody's been coming by, making it look like someone's there, and then being like, mail goes here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll just put the mail into 2 Kroger bags and run into Sybil on the way out the door.
Yeah, no, what kind you guys are like?
And can anybody tell if like so I'm gonna say, can you guys just take a quick gander? I mean, you can't, but can you take a quick gander, make sure that there's nobody watching right now?
I will just take a spin around of Sense the Unseen to see if there's anything not on the surface level around.
Nope.
Yeah. So far, no.
I would rather be here than that damn penthouse, but
We can be.
I don't think we can. I think it's too public.
It's up to us ultimately.
And then she's gonna like put a pin in her mind to like text later and be like, maybe that's where she's gonna end up instead of the penthouse.
Yeah, we'll open the door to Sybil.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Ah, good. You made it. We're going to 5 points now.
Oh, okay.
Lost childhood business if you want to ride along.
Oh, also, and eventually I am gonna have to go to College Park to go rescue Mark from the Anarchs.
Eventually.
So, yeah. Good times.
Is this
Mark was her ghoul, if you remember.
one-hand man?
He has both hands.
He has both hands.
hands.
So it was not his hand.
Oh, so she was here during the one-hand situation,
She
too.
was here during one hand situation.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Whose hand was it?
We don't.
I mean, I don't. Wouldn't you
I mean,
think that I like picked up
Well,
the
they
hand?
didn't know, so I figured I would ask you.
How?
I don't know.
She doesn't know that.
I don't get that kind of. I don't. That's not my shtick.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, if you feel like doing a ride along, we're supposed to pick up a lost child there at Little 5 Points.
I mean, yeah, I suppose so.
Wonderful. I'll just dump the mail into the trunk.
Has there been any other information about the child that came through? Name.
You got that the childer is waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
They know that you're coming to pick them up. The Primogen just couldn't do the pickup themselves.
Did they say which Primogen? I can't remember.
No.
No.
Okay.
Little Fly is much more your territory, Anton, so I think you should do the talking.
I mean, I'm familiar with it, but sure, I can do that.
Yeah. Last time I took point, you take point this time.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if we're bringing them to the school, I probably should anyway, but...
Fair.
Yeah, we'll see who it is.
Yeah.
All right. And so how are you guys getting there?
Whatever car we came to.
Yeah, what car did we come in? I don't know if
Yeah.
we determined that.
It wasn't mine, that's all I know.
Probably mine again.
Yeah, it was yours. It was definitely yours. I still don't have my big car anymore, so.
I do like driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So into like the, Escalade, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
Excuse me, it's an Escalade.
And I will have asked on the way there, instead of listening to music, if we could put on a audiobook I had, which was basically like a play-by-play of how the Bill of Rights was introduced and like how the each of the arguments that was presented by all of the legislatures, and I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I remember that. Like
It's a short ride to Little
I'm
Five.
gonna, I'm gonna hand a pair of headphones to her.
Don't give the aux cord now.
Just driving.
And Mel, as you're looking at your phone, you get a text from Jean-Baptiste
Oh, good.
with a picture of Stacey Abrams on Star Trek, and it says, "Holy shit, did you see this?"
Oh my god, that is like the intersection of Mel's two favorite things like in the world. And
And messages are coming in rapid fire, all in like full capitals. Like, this is so cool! Holy shit! They called her Madam President. He's now like live messaging you the episode.
so my phone is going crazy right now.
It's turning into French.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
so-
starting to go in French.
And so am I at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like not saying anything out loud because I'm like so into what's happening right
Do you
now.
have
I'm like,
notifications? Like, does it bing? Or is
yes, it will
just-
definitely
Just-
ping.
just-
There's no way I know.
Where are you sitting? Because if I
the
hear
back
that,
seat,
okay, I'm just
definitely.
leaning over. I'm like, what?
And I'm like in it, like really in it, like full flight, like
Can I
fantasy
see?
football in it.
Can I
Like oh for
see?
sure, like you would be
Okay.
able to see like what
Is
it
that-
is.
Screen flickers.
Is that Stacey Abrams?
Oh, I'm like scroll up and go past all of the French and then
Yeah,
down
you're
to,
getting like pictures that are clearly from his living room of
Yeah.
his TV.
yeah. Look.
Oh, that's so cool. She's in Star Trek.
Never
Wow.
thought I would ever see the day. Not in a million years.
Well, I mean, definitely, that's... I have to catch up.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna like scroll back up and keep texting with John.
Somebody's gonna have to actually set it up for me, though. I can't...
Oh.
Yeah.
Your dad does have a very long pokey stick that he
Oh,
uses
no,
for the
it's like a
remote.
little, like, point...
Oh my god.
We'll just put that on autoplay.
And
for
he also has a old analog tape recorder where he has gotten Anton, to record various phrases to activate his device so that he can press play and it will say, Alexa, turn on the TV to CBS or whatever.
And it's me like over enunciating because it's already a Russian accent.
Yeah.
Alexa.
I can just imagine her being, like, somewhere in the house and just hearing Alexa. Anton? Hello?
But yeah, he's got this old analog tape recorder that he just like rewinds through it like, where is the one where he says NBC?
I should just do individual tapes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll finally be like, I know you said that, be like, Stacey Abrams was on Star Trek, you guys.
Oh, damn.
Doing what?
She was the president of Earth.
Foreshadowing.
I mean, the King of
Please.
Jordan at some point was on TNG, so there's more than a little bit of political history there.
You know, they've said, and they've actually found a lot of evidence to support this, that things that were thought up on Star Trek became real.
That and The Simpsons are a little too accurate.
I
Yes.
just, you know, having been fighting for democracy for so long, it's be really nice to know if that's what happens, but that's the thing I can't do as a kindred is tell the future.
Hopefully
So,
not in 400 years.
Hopefully not in 400 years.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't be very accurate. And that's a point towards Thomasina.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. That's the thing,
I
right?
missed something, sorry.
Telling the future.
Oh. I'd forgotten about that.
Elephants and...
You're lucky.
That wasn't mine. That was Catherine.
Oh right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same
no.
thing. Same thing.
What was the one that you saw?
Snakes.
Snakes,
Snakes,
that's right,
woods, moon,
Hands.
yes.
I'll just sort of turn back to Sybil and go, some kindred have the ability to have premonitions of the future, but none of it ever makes any sense.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's like looking at a puzzle, but not all puzzles
I
together.
haven't attempted it in quite some time. It was very jarring.
And then Mel's gonna like push herself forward from the seat. Hey, can you maybe like try about the future to see if she's gonna be president?
Not while you're driving, though.
No, God no.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, figured to ask at least.
All right, and so you guys pull up to Little 5 Points. You're able to get some street parking near Psycho Sisters.
Just down Euclid. So. Okay, so we have you been with? You haven't been with have you been with Aaron on any of these?
No, the last time I was out on a shepherd field trip was the serial killer.
That's not quite a field trip. So we find people like us who have not grouped up, who are lost their way, don't know what they are. We bring them into the fold, take them to the school where I work, and we teach how to exist in kindred society. That I mentioned to you.
In theory, the other end of that has been that, much like tonight, we have had people just waiting for us before. And not that I completely regret that, but that came with a lot of baggage.
For what it's worth, this time the person that told us that they were waiting for us. The other ones, we found out that they were waiting for
And
us.
Mel's just gonna call from the backseat. Hopefully we don't set anybody on fire tonight.
Time's not though.
Did before.
That's not in my repertoire, so you don't have to worry about that.
All right, so you guys do see that at this time of night, all of the businesses are closed, but Psycho Sisters is open.
Yep.
As they told you, it's staying open late for you to do your pickup.
Yeah, so I'll walk up with the group and just open the door for everybody.
Okay. You enter Psycho Sisters, and looking around, there's a couple patrons taking advantage of the late hours and browsing around. There's a guy behind the counter. You're not entirely sure who you should be looking for, so if you could all please make me wits and awareness.
Okay.
I'm still in my book. Good. That sounded really encouraging.
Yeah, I had the really good one, really good one, but that's it. That's all I have.
Can I have some of that?
Out of 7,
actually?
yeah, go for it.
3.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
3.
3,
1,
2,
2, 3, 4.
and you had 1.
Yes, she does.
Like the crit, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
1, 2,
and a
That one doesn't
messy.
matter.
and a messy. So I got 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 crit though.
Oh, then. That shit doesn't matter.
So as you're looking around, everyone kind of looking all over, Sybil, you do see a face that you recognize. It's Pippa. But she looks very different, but not in a way you can describe. There's something more steady about her, but not in a traditional sense. The whole vibe you're getting off of her is strange, but not in a bad way.
What's she doing?
What are you doing as you've been waiting for your pickup, Philippa?
I'm just sitting here. I think, have I been taken back to my apartment to gather any of my things?
Oh yeah, you've been able to be home for a couple days now.
Okay. I think she's just sitting there reading a book, and it looks like a really old, just an old ass creepy looking book, and she's just reading it, just thumbing through it.
I'm gonna walk up
Peak Tremere
and I'm gonna put my finger in between the pages and be like, Pippa?
She lunges across the table and pulls you into a hug and just
She'll
gives
hug
you
her
the
back, and it's just kind of like, what is going on?
biggest hug, kiss on the cheek, and she goes,
And Philippa, as you're holding on to Sybil, there is a strong comfort. It feels like home. Tilly has told you all about this, and now that you're free, that you would feel comfort and safety in the people that do actually care about you again. And maybe it will be okay with them now.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry
I don't...
for everything. I'm sorry.
Don't gotta apologize.
Well, I do. I've already have for the whole, getting you kidnapped and stuff. But, for everything else, I'm sorry. I know I took advantage of your kindness when you were you're so young. And then you became my friend, but I was a shitty person. I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me.
I have, I'm just happy to hear from you, honestly.
Where have you been?
I guess we'll just round and round because it's not that big of a store.
Well, she's
Yeah,
gonna how are you feeling?
Complicated.
Yeah, I bet.
Complicated. Good, bad, angry, embarrassed, upset, frustrated. Complicated.
Storyteller, looking around at the rest of the store, does anybody else look like they are looking for people?
Nope.
So I'm just gonna look around. Are you waiting for us?
Yeah.
Oh.
To be clear, I still think this is kind of condescending because I am a grown woman who has been, dead for 20 years, but maybe I need this right now. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
It's more like finishing school or going back to college than anything.
She's been gone for a little while. Taking a little trip to see Tilly.
I know, I was there.
Everybody was there.
But now this is something Storyteller I would have heard happening, but I would have never witnessed it actually happen.
You've never seen what Tilly does, but you know that Sabat going to Tilly come out, as Olivia says, better people.
But I wouldn't have known that was a real thing. I probably wouldn't have believed that.
Yeah, you You hear tell of it, and you know that there's a couple Sabbat that have come into the school over time that were better people, but you don't know the ins and outs of it, and you're not quite sure if you believe it.
And so now I'm seeing it.
Yeah. So now you are seeing someone that even just the nature of them is different in ways that you can't explain other than Tilly did something.
Meanwhile, I've heard it behind a door.
Yeah.
Can we talk somewhere that's not here, like somewhere
Absolutely.
private, please?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Go
And
ahead.
I slam my big giant book, and then just shove it in my giant witch bag. I probably have like 2 big old like bags with me of just Tremere shit.
Sybil will take a bag.
Oh, thank you. It's be careful. That one has
I know I'm small, but I am.
No, it's just breakable stuff.
Oh, Clutch is careful.
I don't
like
need
a little
to get
baby.
yeah. Don't need to get blood all over the books. Okay.
Yeah, no, we can go somewhere. Would you mind going back to the bungalow? Driving us back there? It's closer than the school.
Yeah. Mel, you okay?
No, I'm not. She's gonna get out her phone. She's gonna text Falcon.
Okay.
And it's gonna be, we need to talk as soon as possible.
Okay, and you get back meet up talk or call talk?
And Mel thinks very carefully about her answer. And then she's gonna type back, if I wait, I'm afraid somebody will get hurt.
Ooh.
And you get back, where shall I meet you?
Not the bungalow. What's close to the bungalow? Storyteller be a place where we can. Is there a Waffle House close to there-ish?
Yeah, there's a Waffle House close by.
It's waffle.
Yeah, I'll drop a pin.
Okay. Okay, and Falcon says, on my way.
I'm gonna grab an Uber. I will see you guys there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Will you please take care of her, please?
Of course.
Yeah.
And let me know that everything is okay and she ends up being okay.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Let us know if you
She'll
head
be fine.
towards.
She's not fine.
I'm here. You can talk to me like a person. I'm not.
You're not fine.
Well, I'm not fine, but I just went through a deeply traumatic experience. So
Yeah.
Can you just take it down a notch,
No,
please?
this happens on occasion. It's a lot to take in at once.
What's a brouhaha?
Take some of the
You
mail.
mean me? Yeah, no, that's a whole.
Both.
Let's make sure you take some of the mail just in case you need to head towards College Park tonight.
I think the point was to not head towards College Park.
I know, but if it came, then
That's fair.
I'll grab one of the bags to go through.
Yep.
And I'll hop in an Uber.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess we'll head back towards the bungalow.
Okay. And so first we will go with Mel. So you manage to make it to the Waffle House pretty quickly. It's nearby. And Falcon is already sitting there and has just a plate of bacon. And she looks at you and she's like, okay, what's up?
So we share some things in common, wouldn't you say, Falcon?
Yeah.
Some pretty deep moral codes and some understandings of justice and equality and all that fun things. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I know.
I heard stories and I heard talk about it and I never actually believed it. I thought it was slander because I couldn't imagine that somebody in leadership would do this. But is Tilly actually out here brainwashing Kindred? Yeah.
It's technically the opposite.
No.
I mean, it is kind of taking the brain out, washing the shit off. and then putting it back in.
Is this a thing that is okay? I'm failing to understand here. Is this a part of normal business operations?
Sort of. And by sort of, I mean, it only gets done to the people that... This is gonna sound shitty to say it, but I can say shit to you. It's only done to the people that we want to save.
What in the actual fuck, Falcon?
So let me explain what happens, because I have a feeling that you don't quite get what happens. When you become a part of the Sabbat, they fundamentally change your brain. You know, like, we call it a cult, but it's so much worse. You can't leave the Sabbat. You can't. There is no way to leave. Because up here, we'll never leave.
But how are we able to know that if we have never experienced it? What if that's what they want? What if that's who they want to be? What right do we have to make that decision for them?
There is a bloodline of women and men, but I've never met a man that could do it, that are capable of removing the programming and leaving the person intact. There are others who can completely wipe who you are, kind of like what happened to Hex. Hex's human self doesn't exist anymore, and it never will again. People who go to Tilly, they still get to be them. They could turn right back around and rejoin the Sabbat and get programmed all over again if they wanted it. The people that I personally have seen it happen with, it's like detox for an addict.
Yeah, but even with addicts, they have to consent. Did she ask for this? Did she want this?
That I don't know. I'm not really privy to that kind of information. Unless it's a bruja, and I've never had a bruja go to her. You'd have to ask whoever is her primogen now. I assume we're talking about the Tremere girl you've been hanging out with.
Well, I have not been spending a lot of time with her, but...
Well, like the group.
Sure,
Yeah, that would be a question for Proctor, then, if she consented to it. But I also know... Tilly sometimes... And this is something that I'm sure will need discussion at some point, but these situations are so rare, by the time it comes around again, we go, oh yeah, we should have talked about that. Your group, the Shepherds, you killed Tilly's childer.
Well, hold. Yeah, okay.
The Shepherds did.
Sure.
The thing is, Tilly's had this ability for as long as I've known her. She's had it the whole time. She didn't do it to Catherine because Catherine didn't want it. Catherine didn't want to be changed. She believed in the Sabbat so much. And I think Tilly blames herself. I think Tilly blames herself for not, in her mind, saving Catherine. Because maybe if she could have done something different, maybe if she could have convinced Catherine to do it, maybe if she could have just found a different way to explain it, if there had just been some magic words that she could have said, then maybe Catherine wouldn't have died.
Yeah, but her trauma doesn't make it okay for her to take away other people's decisions.
This is the first person that we've had the situation with since Catherine died. I only know how much Tilly blames herself, and I personally want to believe that if Tilly didn't get consent on this, she really thought she was doing the right thing.
I gotta be honest with you, I can't be a part of something like this.
Take it up with Alpha.
You know I will.
I count on it.
And she'll just, she didn't ask for anything, but I'm assuming the people there would still recognize her that work there.
Oh yeah, they know you.
Okay. Yeah. She would just kind of, nod her head and, aggressively shake Falcon's hand as she leaves the door and ping them to see where they're at.
Okay.
We're at the bungalow.
Okay.
Yep. So they're at the bungalow. So
I'm gonna go there.
All right. So back over to the bungalow.
Yeah, Stace, we'll
You
get.
guys have arrived.
Yeah, we'll get and let you put your stuff down for a sec.
Are there Nosferatu listening, Dot listening in and stuff?
No.
I'm still. She's still out there, and that still makes me nervous. Okay.
It confuses us too. So hi.
Hi. I just had one of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah. You,
And that's saying something, considering.
We heard from it was Alejandro that told us, right? Storyteller. Mm-hmm. We heard from Alejandro that you went to visit Tilly.
Yeah, I did. I was told she wanted to talk to me about my premonition. I had a premonition, and I saw her.
What was the premonition?
Well, I saw her ghoul, and I was on a beach, and then I wasn't, and I was in a chair, and then there was the sky, and oh, of course, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. It's the worst part about those is it makes sense afterwards.
Now, in the aftermath, of course.
Yeah, that's why I don't do them that often.
yeah, I'm not a fan myself.
It's just...
You seem so much more a person than I thought anyone going through this would.
It's deprogramming. It's not mind wiping. You said that she wanted to talk to you.
I was told she wanted to talk to me, and then she gave me a place to sleep, and I said okay, because, my old pack is still out there looking for me, and I know they are. And then I couldn't leave. And then I couldn't leave. And I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad.
But you did not go there for this.
I didn't go there for this. But I'm glad it's gone, but I wish I could have chosen this myself. I wish I'd have known. I'm glad it's gone, because now it was half in and half out the entire time. I've been half in and half out for years. And it's gone, and I feel like there's a weight off of my back now, and it feels like there's another one on there now. It's different, and it's not as heavy and crushing, and I don't know. I'm thankful, but I'm mad at myself that they really picked the perfect person to throw into that open grave. They did. I was primed and ready for them already. And I forgot.
For the Sabbat.
For the Sabbat.
They usually do. They look for ones that, when they are choosy about it, they look for ones that are already ready to accept whatever they're being told.
Oh, I wasn't. I was just a shovelhead that got lucky. But it all feels dirty now, and I just gesture to all of my things, and I just kind of dump out my first bag, and I dump out my second bag, and it's just books and papers, and their vials go scattering, and there's books and papers, and you notice a lot of them are have blood spatter on them, and then there's her knife, and there's a sword, just assorted things. I'm like, it all feels wrong now, even though it's a part of me. See, look at this. And I pick up the knife and I go, this. I murdered a regent to get this. I killed him, and I took all of his books, and I throw it down, and I go pick up this. this man, he just lived alone. He just lived alone, and I killed him just to take his knowledge because I didn't have any way else to get it. And I have it now, and I can't give it away, and I can't give it back. Because I stole that.
When you're with this group, you have a very different view of what is right and wrong. You acted in the way that you knew to be right, and it seems that now, although you did not ask for it, you were given, finally, the counter perspective to it. And I'm sorry that you were not able to ask it for yourself, but now you have... Now you have both sides of a story.
Oh. It's the best choice for me then to go to the school, I think. I don't know. I just need time.
We can give you time there.
I need time to think about things. I don't know. I almost want to just dump all of my books in the trash and start fresh like a little baby.
You can leave them. You can leave them. I can hold on to them. If you want them back, I can give them to you. If not, you will never see them again.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll gather her things.
There's a knock on the door.
Just stop for a second and go open the door.
It's Proctor.
Hi there.
Hi.
We heard you were busy tonight.
How are the horses?
This is what I was supposed to be busy with.
Makes sense.
Is she here?
She is. We're talking with her now.
May I come in?
Of course. I'll open the door. I'll walk back ahead of her back to Pippa. Let's go. If you are ready for it, our Primogen is here.
I've heard tell of her.
She's not so bad.
Well, I've kept a lot of...
It'll be alright.
Yeah, but you survived me, so you're fine.
Can't be worse than Anton.
And I'll just sit and continue to gather her things until Proctor comes through.
I actually take one of the slips from it and I put it in my pocket.
I'm not going to stop you.
But like I take one piece of paper, but I let you.
I'm not going to stop
At
you.
least the books, not like
Yeah.
my
Right.
bloodstones. I'm like, okay, nope, I'm still working on this.
Yeah, anything you grab out of the pile as I'm sorting it, I just let you
Still
take it.
working on those.
And Proctor, when she gets in the room, she sets eyes on you, and as soon as she makes eye contact with you, she can't help herself, and she rushes over to you and just wraps her arms around you and is petting your hair, going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I came home as soon as I heard.
She doesn't hug her back.
She's not expecting it.
She just makes eye contact with Sybil across her shoulder. Your girlfriend is a lot.
Yeah.
Speed running, deprogramming. It was a lot. All at once.
Yeah, normally I'm supposed to be involved in this. This is my fault. I told her I was worried about you. There's not a lot of us left, and...
You knew about me?
Yeah.
Just look at her.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
I've known about you for a while, and despite how I may seem to the others, I actually am very protective of our clan, and I made the mistake of saying in front of Tilly that I was worried about you, and she doesn't want anyone to go through what she did with her childer.
Well, what's done is done.
I'm so sorry.
I'm thankful, but I'm upset, and I'm happy, but I'm not.
I think you've had
I
your
need time.
entire life experience altered, and that is going to take some time to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I wanted to come with an offer. For the real Chantry.
Those still exist?
Technically. I've been personally putting a Chantry back together all this time, and there's a young Tremere that lives there. His name's Cornelius.
How is he?
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have a friend.
To say the least.
It's more books than you could dream of. It's 8 stories.
And it's private. Very
It's-
private.
It's a former missile silo that I converted into a library because I figured underground was safe.
Sounds like a good spot for you.
Where will I get food, though?
How do you prefer to eat?
With a little more kick than normal.
That can mean a lot of things.
People,
Are we talking
animals.
drugs? Are we talking fighting back?
I
Kindred.
have, for the last 20 years, had to survive on the blood of my packmates, and that is how I continue to be able to live.
Done.
Excuse me?
You'll have it.
It's not that difficult.
From who?
You have options.
I can bag some on occasion.
Okay.
Anyone willing to bag any for you? I'll even bag my own if need be.
Oh, okay. Okay. Am I still going to the school, or am I going straight to the Chantry?
This is your call?
I called Olivia on my way here, and I told her, if you want to go to the school, that's your choice. If you just want to go to the Chantry, that's your choice. Chantry comes after the school if you choose the school. But I said, for what was taken from you, even if it was bad stuff, what happens next should be your choice. I can't undo things. I don't even think you'd want me to.
No.
But I can make the next steps your choice.
I think I need to be around people right now. A lot of people.
Understandable. The school is actually really lovely. You may get tired of Olivia after a while.
Oh, no, I know I will. I saw the horses in the carriage and the whole walk up. I know it's going to be torture.
Look, it's better. I get to be one of your teachers.
Oh, lovely.
But Sybil will be able to visit you there, as opposed to the Chantry.
I'm
Sybil-
official now.
Yeah,
You
Sybil.
are?
Sybil's been naturalized. Alejandro joined us as a primogen.
Only male on the council.
He's,
We have made his life hell.
I've heard.
I'm
It's a
going
lot
to
of fun.
go over and hug Sybil again. And she goes,
We have him convinced that female kindred still get their period, so we loudly talk about it.
I adore you all so much.
Proctor, I consider this all apology for the election. Whole thing. Isn't incredible?
while I'm hugging Sybil, I just whisper in her ear, I'm glad I don't have to leave you.
Me too. And I'm glad I can actually come and see you without having to sneak in anywhere.
You know you were my first friend in 20 years, right? My first real friend. Packmates are... That's different. It's... You're all bonded by blood, and I wasn't even. I can't. And they couldn't be to me, and so I was... Even though I was there, I was still on the outside. You were nice.
You were the first kindred that I met unaffiliated at the time.
Ostensibly.
Ostensibly. And you were a lot kinder to me than you could have been, considering everything. And a lot more forthright with who you were as a person than you could have been under a lot of circumstances. And I treasure your friendship more than I can say. I'm just really glad I got you back in one piece. I was worried.
Okay, take me to the, take me to the school.
Do you want to ride with your friends or me? If you ride with me, we are listening to Shania Twain.
No, actually, is it possible I can just ride with you?
Just Anton.
Just Anton.
I can arrange this.
Do you even have a car?
Yes. I don't use it, but I do.
Huh. I've never seen you driving.
I leave it here.
Learn something new every day. Would you prefer for me to meet you at the school, or I can leave you be until you contact me?
Please, yeah. Meet me at the school, yeah, and then just
Okay.
get your contact information and whatever else I need.
I'll be a good buffer for your first time meeting Olivia.
Oh.
She's very loud.
She is, a lot. It grows on you.
She's sweet, though.
You can
Unless
handle
you ever date her son. Then she is not sweet.
Yeah,
apparently not.
don't.
He's off
don't.
limits.
Just don't.
She's still trying to kill that girl.
I'm not surprised. I guess let Mel know that I've taken Pippa to the school when she gets here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
probably for the best that the exchange is without her.
I mean, it's either way. I don't know if Tilly's even there right now, but I'll touch back with you all and let you know we're all good.
Alright.
You good?
Be safe.
I'll
And
text you.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
And she looks at Thomasine and she goes, I'm glad you're not bugs.
Ditto.
You seem cool.
Oh. Sorry, under the new context, that's very different. That's interesting. Thank you.
And I will pick up my mostly empty. I'll scoop what the rest of it's half of it is like purse trash too, like
Yeah.
just like crumpled receipts and things, and then like the rest that's not like deeply cursed, and I will go up.
I'll gather the rest of her things into one of my bags, which, storyteller, I will just let you know will go to the Athenaeum
Okay.
later on. And I grab my keys out of the kitchen drawer where I leave them around to get my car.
Okay.
And I will drive her to the Lost Childers School.
Okay. And so you guys are now in the car together, heading to the Lost Childers School.
Yeah, it's up, which is like outside of the loop, so we have a bit of time.
So, first of all, hi.
Hi.
This is awkward.
Probably.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you alone because this is a clan thing and I didn't want to have the Privigen and literally anyone else
I understand.
listening.
I understand. And on this leave, and if this wasn't the case, I was going to see if you wanted to talk before you went off anyway, just so you can talk to somebody you don't have to bullshit in front of.
Why did you not kill me? It's been bothering me since you didn't have to. You figured it out, who I was, and you didn't kill me.
I am one of the people responsible for the death of Tilly's child.
Oh.
And as I mentioned to you that night, I was trying something new, of not jumping to a reaction. So instead, I offered you a choice there. Despite all the lovely things that you said about me, I thought that we could try something different. And then if you still betrayed us, I could kill you.
Sorry I called you a pyramid piece of shit.
I'm House Karna. Everybody in the city is, except for the one that is in the chantry.
Oh.
He's hardline.
Oh.
He didn't know any better.
I didn't know any better. No, it's just... You had a reputation that I'd heard of. And you held out your hand to me. And I think that changed a lot. And I want to thank you. That's never happened before. I'm used to... Up until very, very recently, I've had a target on my head from others in my clan that were not similarly affiliated. And even then, you didn't have to do that. Especially considering.
Do you remember what I said when you called me by that name?
Yeah.
King Killer?
Yeah.
That you didn't have the entire story?
I didn't. I just knew you were big shit to stay away from.
There used to be, in my haven, before I lost everything, a couple dozen rosaries.
Oh.
And one of Antonio Delgado. And every single one of those, I wish I'd never run into. Because, as I've tried to tell the Primogen, the court, even my own friends, I am not a soldier. I never was a soldier. The remaining Tremere in the city, save for Proctor and Cornelius, that was my coterie during the final nights.
I'm sorry.
And the only thing that we did besides survive was try to help what was left of Atlanta survive. We preserved and stole everything that we could that was remaining of the Camarilla that was in the Sabat's hands. We stole some of their texts too. We preserved. And when you are running back and forth with kindred materials, people will come upon you. And if you are not one of them, they will attack you. And if they attack you and you are more powerful than them, or you are in greater numbers than them, you make sure they don't attack you again. And that happened several dozen times between the it was 5 of us. And then in 2008, the Second Inquisition started their massive strike, and Atlanta took the brunt of it. And we were all running, all of us. And my group, cutting through back alleys, and somebody, face half scorched, comes stumbling through. And by the time I realize who it is, he's already on me. And it's Archbishop Antonio Delgado, running for his life
That makes sense.
in a frenzy. And he didn't know where he was, and he lunged at me and he bit me. And obviously he tried to feed. The problem being that I do not let you do such things, and I reacted reflexively, and he fell into torpor from the contact with me.
And you finished him.
He was that will leave him, and he would die anyway. This is the great story of the King Killer.
It was an accident.
It was like every single other member of the Sabbat that I encountered, fighting for my survival. Not seeking out. Reactionary. Happenstance. Can I tell you another thing that don't think anybody understands. I don't hate the Sabbat. I really don't, because despite their zealotry, and despite their different ideals, like all terrible people in history, they come with their own history, their own culture. I possessed copies of the Gospel of Irid and Ad. I possessed a copy of the Book of Nod. It was one of the things that we stole. I had pages from the Codex of the Damned in my Athenaeum. The scripture is incredible.
It is.
I do not hate the Sabbat. I hate the Atlanta Sabbat for the brutal and vicious murder of all of the people that I knew, and the iron hand that they continued to lay down on the city the entire time. When we met Lydia, I even offered my hand to her, same as you, saying that we would think about her proposal to keep away, and I'm sure she thinks that it was some bullshit, but I didn't know who she was until she showed her hand within 5 seconds of that. And at that point, I hated her too.
Can I tell you something?
While we're sharing.
You should hate the Sabbat.
I know. I know I should, but
You have my full permission as someone who has recently had her brain scrubbed clean and still feels a little bit conflicted about it, but happy, you should hate every bit of it.
there are many instances in history where many instances in history where there's an entire group that you should hate, but it's actually just a handful of people in it that you hate, and everybody else is just sort of with it. I was born at the tail end of one of them. And as much as I hate to say it, their occult texts are still fascinating.
They really are. I did burn my Book of Nod, or the pages that I had, and I don't regret it, but I kind of do. Just the academic in me.
I understand. No, I hate those. I hate those who put action to their hate. Those who hate and do nothing, I simply pity. I don't like them very much, but they don't know any better.
I did a lot of murder, so I'm one of those people. Although, now that my face is clear, my sight is clear, I don't think I'm going to kill anyone anytime soon. Well, no.
You may still.
No. Bill Carter. He's still on my shit list.
Bill Carter?
I'm going to kick his ass. I'm still going to kick
You know Bill Carter?
Yeah, he was my major professor, and he stole all of my work after I died.
No, he was in my graduate program at UGA.
Yeah, he was my graduate professor at UGA.
Son of a bitch.
He's probably like, yeah, he was like my major professor. He was, I did history, right?
Yeah, right,
He
yeah.
was, he stole all of my work after I died. I was about to get my PhD, and he published it, and it was all about female revolutionaries in the French Revolution, and he published it under his name.
All he did was try to hook up with sorority girls the entire fucking time. Didn't, borrowed paper, paid people. I knew it. Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Go for it. Please, he's probably like 90, but it just makes it easier at this point.
Ass. I'm gonna get therapy, and then I'm gonna kick an old man's ass.
Priorities. God damn.
And so it's about this time you're pulling up to the house.
After you've just toyed with the idea of beating up a geriatric old man.
He was a dick.
Run up in the retirement.
I went into the
office.
unlife thinking that this man was a dick. Oh yeah, so
Jackass!
yeah, so we pull up and the gate is just ornate and fucking fancy, and
Yeah.
there's lights on and there's a carriage and everything. You just go, here you are, and yes, it is as ostentatious as you thought.
I hate it. Okay.
I know, most people do.
And when you pull in, you see that Proctor's car is there, and she's already waiting in the carriage. And she just keeps, like, looking at the carriage, like, grimacing and looking back at y'all, like, please don't make me be in this as long as I am.
I think if you're right with it, I think you need to make this next step on your own.
Okay. I will get out of the car, pull my bag, and then I stop. I go, wait. I reach into my pocket and I pull out the piece of paper. Goodbye. I hand it to you and I go, this was... My sire left me that. It was the last ritual he ever wrote for me before he left. I don't think I want any piece of him with me right now. Maybe in the future, but right now, you have it. You might enjoy what's on it. And then I will look at the horses, go, oh,
Yeah.
God, I hate horses. And then I get up into the carriage.
I'll look at it.
If you hate horses, you're really not going to like the chapter.
I'll open up the paper. What's on it?
It is the ritual for galvanic ruination. It is in Spanish, though, so
Enjoy.
I've been studying.
enjoy.
All right, and so you get into the carriage with Proctor, and Proctor hands you a bracelet. It is silver. It has something inscribed on the inside, which is longitude and latitude. And she points to it and she goes, it's the location of the chantry.
Okay.
You'll always have it on you.
Thank you. You really want me in your chantry? Me. You know what I've done, right?
Yeah. And I know what I've done.
And if other Tremere, God forbid, come to the city looking for revenge,
Then they'll deal with me.
okay?
There was a time when I needed Tilly too. I know what you've been through. I went through it myself.
Really?
I know how much it hurts. And I know how lost you feel, and that's why I came home from Gatlinburg as soon as I heard that you had gone to Tilly's house. My horse did place first, by the way.
Nice.
I train horses.
Oh. That's nice.
Don't worry, they're big lugs. They're more scared of you than you are of them, especially since you're a vampire. They won't go near you.
They're just so big.
Yeah, they're huge.
They don't have hands.
No, they don't.
Well, they have a lot of hands, kind of, but
They could have hands if it was a Samisi.
can you imagine a horse with hands instead of hands?
God.
That's just a centaur at that point.
You're gonna get along just fine.
And she pats your knee and she goes, I'm one of the few people here that understands how you feel right now. And I'm the only Tremere that does. That's why I know that I'm comfortable with you being at the chantry, because I know why I built it. And there's some books in there for academic research. You know, like reading Playboy for the articles.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're gonna be great. You already are.
Oh, if I don't fight this woman. Okay, let's go.
She'll grow on you in a bit, and the carriage is moving, and she's like, trust me, I'm somewhat fond of her. Not in like a big way. I don't like hanging out with her. Don't get me wrong.
I'm an inside person that was forced to be an outside person, so
Like a cat.
yeah. Like a raccoon? No.
Raccoons are outside.
Nah, raccoons are outside.
We're trying to domesticate a raccoon?
No, more like a bat, because they like to stay in... I don't know, I've lost the plot.
Yeah, the metaphor got away from us
Yeah.
there. No, you're gonna be okay, and she'll... Trust me, you really only have to do orientation with her. After that, you're mainly gonna talk to Elijah.
Okay. we have a therapist?
Yeah, there's a wonderful woman. We just hired her. I'm trying to remember her name. I'm blanking on it. She just started about a month ago.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Nobody's really talked to her yet. She's getting settled in. She is really secretive. But all I know is that a therapist got hired. So probably if you ask Olivia, she might be able to set you up with something. I haven't even met her yet.
Okay. All right.
All right. And you guys pull up in front of the door and she goes, here we are.
I'll hop out.
She hops out behind you.
Walk up to the front door.
And she walks up behind you and she waves, good evening, Q. And he inclines his head.
Oh, that's weird.
He goes, hello, my name is Q. Welcome to the Grace School. And he opens the door for you, and inside is Olivia sitting stately on her chaise lounge in a white dress.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear this booming voice echoing through the house. Philippa, my darling, come on in. I've got tea and I've got conversation. Let's get started.
Hi. I think Philippa's good for now. Philippa. Yeah.
And that is where we are going to leave off. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Hannah. It has been such a joy to have you on the show. We're going to miss you so much. Well, we will steal you anytime you're in Atlanta.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Take care of yourselves and each other. We love you very much.
Bye.
Good night.